Let's go a little detail in what does our Hello World project consists of. So if you can see here inside the app folder, I have some bunch of files. I have the app routing.model.ts, I have app component.css, and I have the HTML and a lot of other things. So let's check out what are all this one by one. The first thing, when you see this TS here with the .ts extension, that stands for the TypeScript. TypeScript is nothing but a superset of JavaScript. Anything you write inside the TypeScript will finally output as JavaScript in your browser. TypeScript is one of the main core languages of Angular. Let's see what this app routing.model.ts is for. So if I click on this, you can see I have two import statements and I have a constant, and then I have a ng model and then some imports and exports, and then again I have an export. So what is all this? So basically, import statement here, which you can see, is actually a TypeScript component. So what I'm doing here is, with the help of import, I'm importing the ng model from the Angular core. Then I'm importing the routes from the routes model from Angular router. A router is nothing but how you navigate within the components. Next, I have a simple constant called routes, and here I have a routes which is set to a blank array. Now in the ng model, you can see I have an import, which is a router model, and is set to the for root of the routes, which is over here. Now it exports the entire routing model. Then we are creating a class and we are exporting the class as the app routing model, and it's currently blank now. Let's close this one. Let's see what do we have next one. The next one what we have here is the app.component.css. So basically this is a CSS style sheet where we can customize how our component looks like. Here I have a app.component.html. Now we have seen this already. Here we can write our entire component. The next one is app.component.spec.ts, specially used for testing purposes. And below that I have a app.component.ts. Now this is where we'll be writing the entire logic of our component. Now below that we have another file that is app.module.ts. Let me close this. If I open this one, you can see we have again a bunch of import statements, and then we have some ng model and export class. App.module.ts is the main module of your Angular which connects everything together. For example, to run our Angular project in the browser, we need the browser module. In order to run the entire Angular project, we need the ng module. And in order to route within the components, we need the routing module. And since we also created a app.component.cs, that is a default component, we are importing that too over here. And then we have an ng model, and we're declaring the app component which came with it. If you can see, this app component is the same thing which is over here. So basically we're importing an app component from app.component, but we don't see the .ts extension like how we have here. That's because in TypeScript you don't need to specify extensions. Now we are storing this entire thing inside the app component, and then we are declaring it over here. After that, we are importing the browser model and the app routing model so that we can easily navigate and run our project in the browser. In the providers, I don't have anything, but in the Bootstrap, I have set the app component as the default. This helps to launch the component directly when you are running the project. In the export class, it's completely empty.